A food desert is defined as an area where at least one-third of its population lives half a mile or more away from the closest supermarket in urban areas.
So, we were curious whether farmers markets could be the solution to bringing fresh produce to areas with low food access.
However, in our search for answers, we found that ensuring food security is much more complicated than it seems.
At UCSC, about 40% of students are food insecure, and we find that there's higher food insecurity in populations like in BIPOC students, in queer students, like students who are former foster youth or like formerly incarcerated students.
So we began our basic needs village journey in 2014. During that time, that UQ's undergraduate experience survey asked a question if students skip meals, and over 44% of students said they do.
People think of like university students as a population that's like, oh, when I was in school, I like just ate ramen, or like they can take care of themselves, or like they have meal plans or whatever. But actually, like going to school full time is a full time job, and so they don't have time to work a full time job, which is what most adults need to like pay for their rent and food and whatnot.
So at UCSC, we've also launched a roadmap for student food security by 2025 to support a vision of what would it take in the next 2 years to reduce food insecurity by 50%. Last year alone, we supported over 72,000 students across the University of California directly.
So my students run the Produce Pop-Up, which is a low-cost organic farm stand that happens twice a week here on campus. So we try to be like really approachable, and then our food is really affordable. So everything's sold for about half the market price or less.
And in our 32-acre farm operation, students are able to grow food, organic and sustainable. We have a non-transactional cafe where students can come and get prepared food. It doesn't matter what's in their wallet or not. We have a redwood market where students can come in and get fresh produce and some prepared items, and that's open daily as well.
We wanted to know how these solutions could extend out past the world of UC Santa Cruz. I was curious whether the wet markets of East and Southeast Asia could be implemented in the U.S.
I mean, we have our equivalent here in California, and that's exactly what I am, which is just a fish market, a wet market. I've got live product in my place right now, being crabs, and then we get them out to people as much as we can. But I mean, I think when there's more of a pickup distribution type thing, or when there's a situation where we can sell in certain areas like that, it definitely help.
Santa Cruz is probably already like the number of farmers markets probably could not increase and be sustainable. Like there are already like 5 in Santa Cruz. So it wouldn't be more farmers markets necessarily, but it'd be about making them more accessible and more affordable.
Because people can't go randomly shopping and spend 7 hours in a day to go to Target, CVS, the farmers market, the other grocery store. People need to get things that they need for themselves and their families as swiftly as possible.
We have what we call market match at our farmers markets here in Santa Cruz. Like people come down with their EBT coins, and you bring $25 and you get $50 and you get tokens to bring in, so it doubles the amount of fish you get, and we're having outrageous success with that.
Food can be a distraction if we don't talk about costs and housing in the community.
At least the academic discourse is moving away from the term food desert, which connotes like a natural phenomenon and just makes it seem like it's normal for there to be deserts out there, to the phrase food apartheid, which like immediately connotes like a human-made problem, basically.
The inaccessibility of housing is probably one of the lead impacts for not only students, staff, community members, single parents, workers trying to just make it through. And we can tackle food in different ways at Care and Connect and support immediate need. But if their rent continues to be like it is, they have to make those difficult choices where they can get away with a meal and a half a day. And we're often stuck in our heads and we're not connecting to our hearts with the solutions we're trying to introduce and test. And so the real challenge ahead is to somehow activate our heart in the matter of things.
I think it takes some natural like optimism to be like, yeah, we can change the food systems.
Larger work of equity and justice and healing takes place in many forms, and that's going to require everyone to be involved at all different stages and ages.
And we're doing a lot of advocacy like statewide and nationwide in policy and like hunger in America.
We need to have secure food and housing. We need access to social emotional well-being. Gaps and impacts are everywhere. And it's not enough just to map it and talk about it. So I think that's where that invitation for centering in our hearts for the work ahead is going to be needed.